Hello, I'm finally back. It's been a while since I will watch a live pay-per-view. I normally don't. Oh, I've never bought a WWE pay-per-view since last year. Well, it's not an interesting product as well. So normally I buy Money in the Bank, and I'm not gonna this year. It just seems like it's gonna be a horrible show, but WWE has gotten really bad this year, but in reverse, TNA has actually became good. I was gonna buy Slammiversary, but I was very busy trying to get a new job and whatnot, so I couldn't do that. But I was definitely gonna buy this show, Destination X. With uh, the hype for it's been great. TNA's been working hard. They deserved my money. They had great hype for the show, and they produced a very good show. You know, thumb, two thumbs up. I'll say, because I'm really glad TNA is doing what they're doing now, and that they've gotten rid of Vince Russo, and everything's been going up, just like all the internet people have been saying for years. Um, so so they started out with having the guys who lost the indie guys like Jigsaw and Johnny Yuma. They wrestled a four-way match, and the crowd was really into Jigsaw, but he didn't win. I thought he would have won. It would have been the Ultimate X match would have been better in my opinion if he had won, but very good. Very good. I do like Scorpio Sky though, so at least there's a positive in that. And then right away, Scorpio Sky wrestled Kid Cass, and I thought it was pretty. I thought it was good, okay. But, there was nothing bad on this show, and just telling you right now. Then they continued with the tournament. They had Kenny King wrestle. Oh, Doug Williams. I was excited to have Doug Williams back as well. I'm hoping. I'm hoping they keep Doug Williams on TV and on Impact now that he's back. He actually wrestled better than Kenny King in this match, and I was actually they hyped up before that Doug Williams was gonna be on this show, and I was hoping he'll be in the Ultimate X, even though he's more of a I don't really see him as a high flyer that would fit for the Ultimate X, but it's kind of like Big Show or Kane being in the Money in the Bank. It's just kind of a weird thing where for a guy who doesn't normally do that type of match in there, I thought it would be kind of fun and different to see what he does. But so then I think after we had that was Jesse Soren came back, and I guess they're good. Well, it seems like he's gonna have a feud with Zimmy Ion. There's that to look forward to. Even though I've heard people that listen to it don't like Zimmy Ion. And he won the tournament tonight in a pretty good match, and hopefully they do something with Sanjay Dutt and Ion, because of the finish they had it in where Ion's put hairspray in Dutt's eyes, and he fell off the. Well, the finish was actually kind of cool. I don't think they ever did it yet, where they climbed on top of the steel that above the ring, and they dropped down to the wires where they have the X title belt on, and even I was hoping of that match Dutt would win. Having Ion win that way was kind of creative in my mind. I didn't see anyone climbing up there, to be honest, and so even I don't see Ion holding the belt for a year, so I think it's a good idea to have him to have a feud with someone else. And I said before that I wanted Kenny King to win this thing. I was thinking about it, and if you had Kenny King win, he's not signed with TNA as far as I know, and you don't want something where I remember where just where more the 3 count guy pinned AJ Styles on Impact, and WWE signs him right away, and he went to wrestle on the ECW brand. You don't want something like that where, I mean, that just happened to Ring of Honor. He wins the Ring of Honor titles and his contract expires and TNA gets him. You wouldn't want him to win the X belt and have him sign with WWE. So, I can understand why he didn't win. And the Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle in the Bound for Glory series match, which I thought was very good, and I like the ending where Kurt Angle passed out. And I'm liking instead of last year where they had, I don't think Samoa Joe got 1 point in the Bound for Glory series. I remember them building up that he was having a feud with the Pope because he didn't win any points. So I'm glad they're doing something with Joe this year instead of doing what they did last year. And also on the card was I wasn't sure about the Daniels Styles match at first, because when I think of a Styles and Daniels match, I don't think of bloody brawl. But they disproved me, and they had a great match. They had Kazarian interfere, and it made sense that there wasn't someone to come help Styles, because Angle was just had a match with Joe that went about under 20 minutes. So even if the storyline wasn't that good in a lot of people's opinion, and at least we got a good finish, and it wasn't pushed down your throat like the WWE AJ's storyline. Even if the storyline wasn't that good, at least we got a good finish to the storyline. And after that match was the Ultimate X match, which was a little bit short, but it was still good. And then the match that everyone, most people bought this pay-per-view for, was Aries challenging Bobby Roode for the World Championship. And they told a great story with this match. The crowd was very into it, and Aries wins. Aries wins. Aries wins. You could have done a lot with this match, and I was afraid when I guess because I'm so used to Vince Russo, I was afraid when there was a ref bump, and it ended up helping the match where Aries was able to cleanly pin Bobby Roode in the middle of the ring. They had a confetti celebration. It was great. I loved this pay-per-view, because all the wrestling might not be the best I ever seen, and I'm very glad TNA's, for the longest time, I didn't like TNA. They have great wrestlers better than WWE, and they would have such horrible pay-per-views. I remember I bought one once, one of their Slammiversaries, and it just bit me in the ass. I bought that thing. I bought Hardcore Justice once, that Hardcore Justice where they had the ECW reunion, because I liked the ECW, and they got Too Cold Scorpio, who's gonna be at King of Trios, by the way, and he's my favorite wrestler. But I'm very happy I bought a TNA pay-per-view. It was good. They're doing good. Impact's getting better. And it just makes me very happy. You know, if you didn't buy this pay-per-view, I recommend you do. I don't think you should be streaming this pay-per-view. If you want TNA to be better, then send them a message. Buy this pay-per-view. Please do, because you know the only way you could send them a message that this is how you want Impact Wrestling to be is by giving them money. Showing it monetarily is really the only way you're gonna do it. You know, if you stream this pay-per-view and say, oh well, it was dandy, it was great, put some types, make a video on YouTube or type in your message boards and say, oh, this was great, I'm glad to finally being this way, but you didn't buy it. Well, doing things, saying it's getting better is one thing. Actually giving TNA the money to tell them that it's better is a whole nother deal. So please, if you think that TNA is doing better, when you watch Impact Wrestling, you like what you see, and you like the hype, please buy it, because streaming really is also stealing, and that's all I've got to say about this pay-per-view. Good wrestling, and hopefully TNA is able to sign Kenny King. Hopefully I do think that Bobby Roode's gonna win back to fill out the next pay-per-view for the Bound for Glory series thing for Storm, and hopefully Jesse Soren comes soon so that they could have some heat on the Ion and Soren thing, and I'm glad Samoa Joe's went. Hopefully they do something with Samoa Joe and Storm now that he's winning this year, and I hope they keep Sanjay Dutt for at least a month so that they could do something with him and Ion, because there'll be heat for that. And hopefully they do more stuff with Douglas Williams, because he's a great wrestler, and I checked today, he's 39, so I hope they use him before he comes too old and not be able to wrestle the way he man in his late 30s could. So I recommend you buy Destination X, and thank you for watching me.